Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. I've totally got the art journaling bug now that I've got 2 pages done. It's quite exciting for me. So I did my first one yesterday, and I'm going to show you here how I finished it off. So I was using the Bombay, Dr. P.H. Martin's Bombay inks that I got from Oriental Trading Company, and I want to let you know that Oriental Trading Company has a 110% price match guarantee. So if you see anything on their website, if you see it cheaper at Dick Blick, you see it cheaper at Cheap Joe's, you see it cheaper anywhere else, all you have to do is when you place your order, email them a link, show them where it was cheaper, and they will beat that price by 10%. So a lot of their art supplies, because they're drop shipped from another location, they're at MSRP, which is retail. So if you already ordered some and you say, oh darn it, I just saw it cheaper somewhere else, send them an email and they will refund the difference. So that is why I love that company. They are so fair. Usually their prices are cheaper than everything, but than everywhere else, like in their stamps and their papers and whatnot. But their art supplies do tend to run about retail, so if you find them cheaper somewhere else, they'll match it by 10%. So don't be afraid to order from Oriental Trading. If you already did and you found the price cheaper somewhere else, then send them an email. They're very awesome over there. All right, so what I did after the video yesterday is I used a cosmetic sponge, and I actually sponged some inks here and there to get that swirly pattern. Had some left over on my palette and I felt awful that I was wasting them. And a little goes a long way. I had like 2 drops of each color was enough to do this entire page and then have some left over. So don't put too much out on your palette while you're working. For the lettering, what I did was I took some white ink and I just brushed it over to give myself space where I could letter and still be able to see my lettering. And then with the micron pen, I went right on top after it was dry and I wrote, what you do every day matters more than what you do once in a while. So my journaling technique here was to highlight certain words so they kind of stood out. I can zoom in a little bit for you there. And then I colored with the inks in the everyday part. And I wanted to see how opaque that white was, so I actually added little highlight lines. I made a border using a sponge and the black inks. I had a bunch left over on my palette and I hated to waste it. So I went around and just sponged a border on, and then I drew just a simple little dot line bordered with the white ink and a paintbrush. So the blacks and whites are super opaque, they're wonderful, and so most of this was India ink, and I just love the way this feels when I run my hands over it. You can see the glossiness from the hope you can, the twinkling H2Os that I added there. You could use any sort of shimmer paints like the Pearlex paints or Niji, whatever. It just gives you a really nice sheen and a pretty look. So that's how I finished that up, and I wanted to share that with you. So I got like 15 minutes until the bus gets here. My kids have a half a day of school, so I'm going to try to do a little lettering tutorial for you. And I also want to show you this. I did try doing this video, but my camera cut off, so I was super bummed. So oops, I'm going to flip this around. So this is the page I did this morning. And I used the quote, if you wait for perfect conditions, you'll never get anything done. And it's very apropos today because my camera shut off. I'm like, well, I'm going to hook up my webcam and I can go as long as I want with that. And I couldn't get my my computer to recognize it or YouTube to recognize it. So I was just like, I'm just going to try this again. And I'm going to do another quote that I had pinned on Pinterest, and it's don't believe everything you think. And I'm actually going to do my my journaling the opposite way here, and which is kind of the landscape way. And I'm going to start with the word everything, and that's what the focus word is going to be, my focal word, and then I'll work everything else around it. I kind of want a fancy script. What I'm going to do is go in with I think I'll go in with a number 8 pen, which if you look on the sides of your pens, like a Micron 08 is a 0.5 millimeter line. So if you want to know what the millimeters are on your lines, you can you know, read it, I guess. Jeez. It's probably only applicable if you're in a store and you're picking up a pen and you get your eyeballs close to it. But anyway, I'm going to write the word everything, or at least I'm going to try to. I'll probably spell something wrong today, so please be patient with me. And I want a really loop-de-doo letter, so E, V, E, R. That's a weird looking R. Y. I'm telling you what, it's so hard to spell and talk and do a video. T, H, I. I'm gonna run out of space. Hold on. We work on the back of this one. We're working on the back. Oh, good grief. All right, we'll try that again. E, a little bit smaller this time. V, E, R, Y, T, Okay, so now I want to make some kind of areas to add ink to. So I am going to just kind of add some double lines here and there. Let's see, maybe add a double line there. This is kind of similar how Heidi Swap does her letters. If you've ever seen her stuff, it's very loop-de-doo and cute. I don't have very good handwriting, so I will take any sort of tricks I can get to improve it. And I think this is going to give me some really cool results. So now I've got that really nice bright focal point to my design. Let's see, then I think that U, I'd like to put that U in here. Don't believe everything you think. Or maybe I'll just have U. Whoops, so I gotta go see if somebody's at the door. What was that I was saying about if you wait for perfect conditions, you'll never get anything done? Totally, totally true here. That was a FedEx guy dropping off a package at the wrong address. I tried to flag the man down, and he just kept on driving. So now I'm gonna have to deliver this guy's package to him because it was dropped off on my doorstep. Sheesh. All right. So don't believe everything you and the dog's all out of sorts because there's all this rain hitting the metal roof and snow is falling, and she's very upset. All right, think. So let's see. How do I want to do think? T-H-I-N-K. And let's see, don't believe, maybe sometimes I have to, there we go, sometimes I have to think about cursive. We don't write very much anymore, do we? Believe, B-E-L-I-E-V-E. Don't believe everything that you think. So then we do have a lot of area that we'll be able to decorate. And I think what I want to do is actually do some pan pastel. So I got my pan pastels here, and something they do actually sell a set of 5 pan pastels at Oriental Trading. So remember, you know, if you do find the price cheaper, you can get to them to match it. And I think I'll use this blue here. I'm going to use a sponge. Sponge is kind of dirty, but I'm going to use a clean end. You can use makeup sponges. The pan pastel sponges are a little bit more dense, and the color doesn't absorb in, but usually they don't with a makeup sponge either, so I use both. I actually bought the sponges before I bought any of the pastels because I thought I wanted to use them and see how they worked with my regular sticks of chalk to see if there was really that much of an advantage to getting the pan pastels. And I found that that they do work pretty well, but I find that I'm better off coloring. If I'm using regular pastels, I'm better off to color on my paper first, and then like using the edge of the stick and rubbing it around, and then kind of going over it with a sponge. It gives me a much better look. Now I really wouldn't have to seal this because I'm really working it into the paper, but if I do get some thick pastel on there, I'm going to want to seal it. So I kind of want the focus on the word everything, so that's why I'm bringing my color out from there. It blends really well. This is a mixed media pad from Canson, which is from Oriental Trading. This is the 9x12 size. It's a great size. I'm really enjoying the size. I usually tend to go with bigger papers and bigger pads, but this is really nice. And I actually had an idea, because you can get those, you can actually get pretty decent frames at Walmart for $5 of the 11x14. And I was thinking if I ended up with a bunch of these quotes that I really liked, because I like motivational quotes, I could frame them in those cheap frames that are actually real wood and they look decent. And I think they would be really cute, like in a room or something, in a studio, or maybe even to sell at a craft fair. I think it'd be kind of cool. Okay, so now I've got kind of this starburst effect, and I could still see my words, but I think I might want to add a little bit more, I don't know, oomph to them. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to try, I got these little makeup applicators at Christmas tree shop. You probably have some in your makeup stash if you're a woman. or you probably can use a Q-tip if you are a man and you don't want to go to Christmas tree shop and buy makeup applicators. Let's say you're an artist, nobody's gonna care, nobody's gonna care. All right, and I think I will use, well, I'm gonna actually keep the colors to what I've been using. I mean, I'm gonna keep, so these, the reason I got these is because the tips feel like the soft tools that Panpastel offers, but the sticks are different colors, so I'll have an easier time, I think, keeping track of what colors I want to use. So I think, actually, you know what? I think I want to use green. Let me pull this green one out. And I think that I could just kind of keep them clean this way, you know, if I'm just using them for that color family. So what I'm going to do is fill in those areas that I color. Let's see if it will be opaque enough, hopefully. I might want to just switch to my stick pastels after all. Let's just see. You know what? That's not as dark as I really would want it to be. Let me try my stick pastels. I'm going to pause this and be back in a second. All right, let's try something else. Let's try these pastel pencils. Let's see if they're any more useful here. Gosh, they're not really any more opaque either. Let me go to a different yellow and see if that stands out a little bit better. Oh, this yellow works a little bit better. And you could do every color. You could fill in every line with the same color, or you could mix and match. Some colors tend to be softer than others. I'm not exactly sure why. It must be the amount of pigment to chalk or something, or pigment to binder that they have in there. And of course, take more time than I am. I am just kind of whizzing through this quickly because I got kids coming off the bus. My camera only records for 20 minutes, and yeah, that's pretty much it. In fact, I'm gonna watch this video before I make it live in case it's awful. All right, and I think maybe I'll add a little green to that because I feel like it's kind of blah. Oh, this is a nice color. I like how they blend together. So the thing about mixed media is trying what you have, mixing it with new stuff you get. Ooh, I like that. Because most supplies work pretty well together, and you can come up with some really cool combinations. And in something non-threatening like a journal like this, you can really do some cool stuff. And if it doesn't turn out all right, hey, work on the back of the page, tear it out, throw it away, don't show anybody. It's completely up to you. And maybe even a little bit of a blue, because I do want this to be my focal. Now, since I am working on this color does not seem very soft. Since I'm working on white paper and I've kept my colors pretty bright, I might, I'll probably will fix this with a little hairspray, a little Aquanet stuff right here, aerosol Aquanet. Get the cheapest you can find because it won't have all the additional like silicones and oils that you pay the big bucks for. That one's not very soft. I'm trying to find a nice soft color that I can add a little bit more. Oh, I'm batting 1,000 here. Goodness gracious. Well, that's soft, but it's not very bright. Spontaneous! Spontaneous, right? Alright, well, let me, it's not showing up as nicely as I want it to. Maybe I'll just keep going with that green that I liked. Now, on this case, I wouldn't go over these letters again with my pen unless I sprayed it with a workable fixative, because I wouldn't want to clog up my pen nibs with the color that I'm using here. So you do have to keep that in mind when you're doing mixed media. So like I wouldn't go over acrylic paint with your Copics, because that alcohol in there will reactivate your paint and clog them up. You wouldn't want to go over a colored pencil with your Copics, but you can go over Copics with colored pencils. So just kind of keep that in mind. Think of like marker tips and pen tips. You don't want them clogged up. So you do want to exercise some caution there because they're expensive and you know they might not work right again afterwards. So I can go in and add a little bit of black with this black pastel pencil. These are the Derwent pastel pencils. I do love Derwent pencils. I have to say though, I've tried different brands of pastel pencils. I don't really see a big advantage over one brand to the other, so you can get whatever brand you like of those and they're going to be pretty similar. In fact, those inexpensive Generals, or Kimberly, Generals I think it is, those are really cheap and they work really well. So, you know, keep that in mind. I think pastel pencils are one of those kind of around the board. They're pretty much the same. Alright, let me try. And also, it seems like the pastels probably not sticking so well on top of the pan pastels, because the pan pastels are really soft, so you usually begin with a harder pastel and then work up to your softer ones. So I think I want to add maybe a little bit of stamping here. And I've got this fun tree stamp. It's from Tattered Angels, and I got it many years ago, so it's probably not even available anymore. So I'm just going to go on and just going to try to put some, oh, I like that. You know, you put this here and there. I was using that on the other journal page that was just not going to happen to be uploaded. I don't know, maybe I'll look at it. Maybe I will. I'll see how it looks. And I do want some more ink there, so what I think I'll do is I'll grab my India inks and I'll use pen and ink, and that way I don't have to worry about, you know, because I can wipe this brush right off. Oops. It's all dry from my palette. Maybe I'll use that green. I have so much of that green, I hate to waste it. I dumped out too much by mistake. This little glass nib is kind of not the best. It's one of those novelty things I picked up at TJ Maxx once, and it just wasn't really worth it. It was pretty though, fun, it's cute decoration. I don't have a lot of ink in this little well there, and I really don't want to get any more out. I want to use that up because it's such awesome ink that I don't want to waste any more than I have to. So that's the funny thing about these art journal pages is that you kind of don't really know what you want to do until you're playing with it and you're doing it. So planning it doesn't really work that well, and you don't want to lose the spontaneity by doing the same page twice. At least I don't. So it's just kind of like what I think I'm going to do is end up kind of picking a technique that I want to explore, and then doing 20 minutes on that, and then moving on to the next technique or supply that I want to work with. Hope that's useful to you guys watching at home. Maybe I'll add a little bit of stenciling because I have some time here. I really like this stencil. It's oh, I don't want to wipe it on my pants. My parent-teacher conference is today. So what I think I'll do is set this over here and use my pan pastels again for some sponging of chalk. I'm telling you, got piles. I gotta watch out though. I don't want to accidentally knock my pan pastels over. A little bit of this purple and just kind of patty cake it in like this. Yeah, really gotta be careful not to knock those down. I would cry my eyeballs out if I dropped them on the floor and they shattered. That'd make me very sad. Alright, so I got a really kind of fun texture there. We'll come over here, a little bit of that pink maybe. And, oh, you know what's kind of happening here that's kind of neat is that my pigment ink that I just stamped with is grabbing the pan pastel color and getting darker there, so that's really kind of fun. I'm definitely going to have to wash the sponge out because I'll have ink on it too, probably. Actually, though, I don't know. It seems like it's sticking on top of the thing. It's probably not... You can see, oops, I got kids home. I'm going to pause this again. You'll have to excuse the stomping upstairs. The kids just came through the door, and I'm just going to finish this up. So let me show you that, what I was doing over there, how we have that kind of darker, the color will grab onto that ink, and you'll get kind of a cool effect too, just like we did with our pastel background technique. So I just wanted to show you that really quick, and maybe just add, oh, I've got this stencil too. Maybe I'll add a little bit of that on here with some purple, and you know, just experiment, play with what you have. I hope somebody's finding this useful. I'm enjoying playing with this stuff. That's absolutely short, and I'll put a link underneath the video to the Oriental Trading website and their price match guarantee, so so there's no worries. You don't have to worry when you order there that you might find a better deal elsewhere, because they will match it. Thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you like this video, and until next time, happy crafting.